Alright tribe, so here is my first ever video tutorial with Jen, how to work a webinar. So I am signed on as Chuck, like he would be the host. So you would come in and I would be your co-host, so I could start the video 5-10 minutes before you come in, play some music, and welcome people as they come in and while we're waiting on you. And then when you come in, you will just start the video and it'll be just like anything else. And so then when we see, it's really, really similar to the regular Zoom meeting. It's just a little bit more controlled environment when you have a lot more people in here. So this is what happens when somebody joins. So if you can see that the participants, there are 3 of them. So it says panelist, which it has me as a panelist, which it's just because I'm connected with Chuck's account. However, I will update that to make me a co-host as well. So then it will show attendees, and so we have Matt Hayes that came in as an attendee, and he will not be allowed to do anything as an attendee unless we let him. So he won't be allowed to share video, and he won't be allowed to talk unless we actually click this button and allow him to talk. So that is where I will come in when we're doing everything and I can allow him to talk. And then there's more things. I could promote him to a panelist, and if I did that, then he would be able to share his video as well. So only panelists and host, which we can have up to 100 of them, will be able to show a video while they're talking. However, everybody, including all 10,000 attendees, can view everything, and then they can talk only if we allow them to talk. And then of course you can mute everybody at the same time. So if that makes sense, so you can, it's really cool on here, this one you can mute everybody at the same time, you can unmute everybody at the same time, and then you can also do a couple other things, allow a panelist to start a video. So I want to click that because we want them to be able to start videos, if that makes sense. We can view all kinds of stuff with this little thing here. So that's how you can control who's your panelist and who's your attendee. So say we want Matt to be able to see his video, all we have to do is just promote him to panelist, and then that will move him over to our panelist, and he will be able to talk automatically, and he can share his video if he wants automatically, if that makes sense. So um, that's about it, and I know that I can control it as co-host. The panelists can also control the mute everybody or unmute everybody. The attendees, like again, they will not be able to talk unless we let them talk. So I think that pretty much covers it. It's really cool that when somebody actually comes into the room, they don't have to pre-register, but they can register beforehand. When we send an invite, it'll ask them for their name and their email, and then it'll give them a link to come to the thing. However, if they don't register and they want to come in right on it before they are allowed to come into the webinar, it asks them for their name and their email, and then that's a way for us, and then it gives them access to the room, and that's a way for us to track who's coming to everything. And then also we have their contact information to be able to follow up. So it's really cool. It's a way better way of tracking who is coming in and out of all of the Zoom. So it's really cool, and absolutely. So then the other little things are, there's the same chat that we have in all the other Zooms. Is the same thing. You can have all panelists, or you can just have everyone in the meeting see the chat, or you can just personally chat other people. So that's something that I would keep up with. The other cool thing is, it's a little bit different, is a Q&A. And so when you click on the Q&A, it would show you, and same thing, the panelists, whoever we want to be, would be that. And so say, I'm going to come over here to Matt's iPad real quick, and we're going to, it won't let me ask a question because I made him a panelist. So participants, and let's move Matt. We're moving him back to an attendee, so that way I can show you what it looks like when somebody answers a question. Okay. So when he goes to the Q&A, he can ask a question, So let me get rid of this so you can see what it looks like. So I see that down here in the box, it says Q&A 1. So I would just click on that and it would show me that Matt Hayes said hello. So I can either answer live, which I click on it, and then on Matt's screen, it actually says the host would like to answer your question live, and then you would just answer it live. However, if we didn't want to answer it live, then I would just type the answer and I would send it back to him, and I can send it privately to him, or I can send it to where anybody can see it, and then I send. And so you would always see the questions and the answers, and then when we were done, you could dismiss them, and then there would be a dismissed one. So at the whole time, there can always be question and answers happening, and then something we can always get back to. But then, of course, there's the live chat. The same exact thing about sharing your screen, the same way that we always do it. Only the host can share, or all panelists, and that me and Chuck, we would have the authority to be able to do that, or Wyatt if you are the host. And then super easy, same thing like before, we would just click on this more button and we would go live to Facebook if we wanted to, or on YouTube. Really cool. And then also invite, that just means you can invite anybody immediately. You can just click on Gmail and invite them to come while it's going on. So it's pretty cool. It's very, very similar to the regular thing. It's just keeping up with the participants, because when you're talking about 1,000 people, it could get crazy just trying to mute 1,000 people. I know just on like a 20-person call, like constantly seeing who we can mute and who doesn't need to mute. So giving people just the permission to speak is pretty cool. And so I would probably just need to know who is the important people that we want to make panelists. That way, like with Matt, we would just promote him to panelist like we did before, and he would come to panelist, and that way he can show his video if he would like, if that makes sense. All right, if you guys have any more questions, let me know. Otherwise, that's about it. So it's really easy to track attendance this way. It's the only way, the meeting way. You don't have to sign in. So it's pretty cool to be able to do that, and then also having a lot more control over a lot more people. So, all right, if you have any more questions, let me know. And I think that it's going to be easy peasy. And then you can also see 25 people at a time on your screen if you go to view, and you can go to the gallery view, and then you would see 25 at a time, and then you could click to the next page and see 25. So I mean, we could have up to 100 live videos going at a time if we wanted to. So that's it. And then you could also, you would see in participants, you would see how many attendees do we have. Say we had 100, you could see all of them, and then we could decide which ones we want to let talk at any moment. So, but then they can also keep up with us with the chat and the Q&A back and forth. So, all right, I hope you all have a good night, and I hope that helped. Let me know if you need anything else. All right.